Trump appeared again with the Nelk boys, who have a podcast, the Full Sin podcast. And these interviews where Trump's with a bunch of bros with beer all around them, it's just always kind of a strange aesthetic. But I saw, the reason I'm jumping on to cover this is because I saw, we'll try to do as quickly as possible, not really a main story that I prepped for the day, but I know you guys will find it interesting. So Kamala HQ posted, Trump's handlers whisk him away from his rambling and confused interview. And then it quotes what happened. And so I went and found the full episode so we could see what Kamala HQ was referring to. And here is Trump saying, I got to get out. Oh, let me do the audio thing.
4 years ago, and we never folded, and we're never going to fold.
We're never. Oh, by the way, Etra, they never folded. They said, we're not going to take it, and we all took it together, right?
Took it together.
I think there you go.
And two other people were supposed to die, but they had great doctors, and they didn't. But we had 101,000 people. I think you're going to have a lot of people today.
A lot.
Now, here's the bad news. It's going to be 102 degrees, so I have to go.
Okay. Well,
and you're coming with me?
We're coming with you on the plane.
Okay.
We appreciate you having us, President Trump.
Because I see my people are going crazy over there.
Oh, that's it?
At a certain point, you don't mind if they go crazy, but then you say, okay, it's time to go. Time to go, right? Okay.
Like you told us back in the day, never fold. 4 years ago, and we never folded, and we're never going to fold.
We're
never.
And then it goes on for a second after that. It seemed like Trump's handlers were trying to get him, maybe just because of a time crunch. It's fun to say he rushes out of the interview because he's all confused, but he's kind of always confused. Would that really bother the staff members around him? I have no idea, but they clearly are trying to get him to go. And that was happening even earlier in the interview.
Talent.
I want to ask you, because that Al Smith charity dinner.
Yeah.
Years ago, you went up on stage and you pointed out and called out Chuck Schumer. He used to be my friend. This person used to be my friend, and they switched up on you. And it's happening next week, I think, the dinner.
I'm the speaker, yeah.
Has anybody come around and apologized or come back to your support?
Sometimes they do, and sometimes they said, do you mind keeping it quiet? Yeah, I have a lot.
Does that bother you?
People go into the voter booth, and they vote for me. And then they go on a television show and they'll say bad stuff.
What's the fear around it? Just that you're against what they're for? Or?
So it's a very interesting phenomena. I shouldn't be unhappy about it, but I don't know. It's there's a liberal bent in the country, and people
look at the makeup, just forgetting so much of his face. What is happening? Oh my gosh! You'd think a billionaire would have have a whole makeup team or something, but clearly he's just doing it to himself. This is something Trump talks about a lot. I don't believe him that he has all these people coming to him saying, I'm going to trash you publicly, but I'm voting for you. But I do believe that a lot of people who previously got along with Trump before politics don't get along with him anymore. And Trump always pretends like that's some proof that they're crazy, that they changed in some way or are being two-faced, when in reality, of course, they got along with Trump when he was just some reality TV billionaire real estate guy. He always cites Whoopi Goldberg as an example of someone who liked him before and doesn't now. But it's not them being two-faced for once you come out as being politically wacky, that then they oppose you because they find out your politics is crazy. And you're the one who was a Democrat your whole life. You're the one who was pro-choice and then flipped for the purposes of politics. You're the ones on all these issues. We know Trump's life was one thing politically, then to run the Republican Party, he switched around his views. So you're the one who changed, and they reacted to the fact that you were no longer someone that had the character that they could stand with. I don't think he ever had the character, but at least before, they didn't hear about his political views being what they were, which for a lot of people is the line that they can't have him cross to still associate. Then this
question, Mr. President. So we have like a lot of college fans and a lot of fans that are going into college. College is like really expensive right now. What are you going to do to maybe like help make college less expensive and like more affordable?
Well, the biggest thing you can do is, and this is a little bit after college, you got to make sure everyone gets a job when they get out of college, and all of a sudden things look a lot better. Biden was trying to do something with student debt, but he failed to get it done. He couldn't get it done. He couldn't get a lot of things done, but he wanted to do something on student debt, as you know, and it's dead. It just.
By the way, think about how twisted that is. What are you going to do to address high costs of college? And he goes, well, you have to get a job after college. Okay. And then Biden failed on his plan. Biden has facilitated more student loan debt forgiveness than any president in the history of the United States. Billions and billions of dollars, doing everything he can as he sits in the executive branch, because the Supreme Court shot down the broader proposed forgiveness plan. But then he's gone around that to give as much forgiveness as possible. The Supreme Court shot it down in part because of the right-wing justice Trump got in the Supreme Court. So Trump gets these right-wing ideologues on the court who shoot down Biden's plan. Biden still goes forward and does more student loan debt forgiveness than any president in American history. But Trump wants you to believe Biden's a failure because of Trump's justices shooting down his plan. Wacky.
Died. What we're going to do is certain colleges have tremendous amounts of money. I mean, almost an unfair amount of money. And we're looking at that, the endowments, using their endowments to help people. And they should use them. They should use endowment to help people finance it. But the federal government's going to remain financing, and they're going to help students. You got to help them. The biggest thing we can do is make the economy incredible. So when you get into college, you study something, and you get out and you get yourself a great job. Right now, they don't have that. And the other thing is they're charging too much. The colleges have gone up more. The price of a college has gone up so much, more than almost anything else I can think of for an education. You know why? Because the government hands out money. So they have no reason to keep it down. So we're going to look into that very carefully. We're going to get it down for students. We're going to get it way down, and we're going to make it possible.
Yeah, so not articulating any plan. Just saying something about Biden, something about the federal government still going to do stuff and help people out, but also the federal government helping people out is why prices are too high. But also we're going to look at it, and we'll look at it, and we'll look at it left, right, and center. We're going to figure it out. It's going to be great, and you're going to get a job. But no one can get a job anymore, even though more people are employed now than ever before in the United States, but no one can get a job. How is that compelling to people? It's one thing to justify in your head, I think Kamala Harris is so bad that I would vote for this guy. I don't understand that rationale, but it's a whole other thing to go. And when he talks about policy, he is just so detailed, so thoughtful, and I get exactly what he's saying, even though it's nearly impossible. Maybe it's answers like that one that cause his staff to go, let's wrap it up.
By the whole world. And we're going to pay down debt, and we're going to do great things. And that's why I'm doing it now. In fact, I have to go because I have to go right now to Coachella. And I think a couple of you guys are coming with me, and that's going to be fun. But we have a big crowd. Do you have any idea how big the crowd is?
No.
I'm hearing it's big.
We all know your rallies are the biggest, so.
Huh?
We know your rallies are the biggest.
We have great rallies.
We know
I
that.
like this guy. You know, he's a nice guy.
I have to ask you about
Go
this.
ahead.
There's a
Your rallies are the biggest. You have the biggest rally. What? Trump, you could tell, was like, are you mocking me? Because that's what it seemed like. We know you have the biggest rallies. No one has such enlarged rallies as you. Oh, we love you, Trump. So weird. Get a life. So weird. Why would you do that? If I ever got to interview Vice President Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, but let's say Kamala Harris because I'm much more complimentary of her than Trump, I'd still spend the interview pressing her on things that people want answers to. I'd still figure out what insight could be gained, and I want to just sit down and go, I don't even want to do it. It's too cringy. What that guy did. I want to do what that guy did. But some people choose to. And even a softball like that, Trump, seemed to cut short by the reaction of the podcasters because the guy went, oh, we're done already? What? And then they're flying with him. And I don't know much about the Nelk boys, the Full Send boys, the Happy Dad beer, but they're a part of this podcast bro community that is pro-Trump. So we saw the Logan Paul interview, the Andrew Schultz interview, the Now Here Nelk boys, and I say again, it just always sounds like I'm being insulting. I'm not trying to be. I'm just saying I know many of them, like Joe Rogan, admit that I don't know much about politics. Who knows? Then if you can admit that about yourself and that's not your forte, that's not your area of expertise, I'd be a little bit more mindful of how you platform someone that from your perspective, at least you know people are saying he's really dangerous. So maybe go inform yourself on why people are saying that before platforming. And then from our perspective, you're platforming someone really dangerous, which is totally fine to platform someone if you then use your time with them on that platform to confront them on things or ask them meaningful questions and not just, I wish I had a rally the size of yours. And so often these are just patty cake sessions, which I don't understand. I really don't understand. You have Trump sitting in front of you and you choose to spend it complimenting his rally sizes. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Support the show. Get the members only bonus show by clicking the join button below.